Hey you guys, so today I am going to be going through some new products that I've been getting in the mail, and I'm going to tell you guys my thoughts on them and all that kind of good stuff, so let's jump into it. So the first thing I have for you guys are the new Anasazi liquid lipsticks. They came with a bunch of new colors and then they reformulated to the old colors, which were catnip and soft lilac, so I left those two out. But I have the rest of the colors right here, conveniently swatched on my arm. They definitely went for like nudes and stuff like that, which was great because for some reason, I don't know why, I feel like there's like not enough nudes in the realm of liquid lipsticks. Like I feel like liquid lipsticks always kind of like cater to like weird colors or like bright colors, which is like nice because you don't want those colors to wear off quickly, but at the same time I'm like, man, girls gotta have her nudes, right? So it's kind of nice because they have nudes ranging from like, you know, like lighter to like medium to like darker skin tones and stuff like that, which is really, really nice. But all of them are going to be pretty universally flattering. My only beef are with the colors Madison and Rio. Rio because when you swatch it, it's almost like too thin or like just not pigmented enough. It's weird. It has a different kind of formula, I feel like, to the other ones. And it looks really nice and opaque once it's dry, but when you're first putting it on and layering it, it's kind of hard to get like a really even application, I found. And I found kind of the same thing with Madison. But I also find that Madison dries a little bit patchy, so some areas are darker than others, which is too bad because they're both really like standout colors from this particular collection. My top threes for this collection would have to be Ashton, because I just think it's like a really unique color and it's going to be pretty universally flattering, like no matter your skin tone. Catherine, same goes. It's just gorgeous. It's just a really, really pretty, like nice, like rosy color. It's going to look really good on everybody. And then Rio. Still Rio, even with the application problems, it's just a beautiful color. It's going to be so nice for summer. Obviously, all of the nudes and stuff like that are, I mean, they're great. They're nudes. How can you go wrong? I've had a lot of people ask me about what my favorite liquid lipstick formula is, and I think that it's totally dependent upon the person, obviously, but I actually like the Anasazi one the best. I find that it's not too moussey, it's not too liquidy. It doesn't dry down like so much that it feels like cement. Like it still feels comfortable on your lips, but it's not tacky. Like I just think that it's like this perfect, like right down the middle for me at least. So I've always really liked their formula the best. But that said, I don't typically wear liquid lipsticks out of the house. So like, that's the truth of it. Like I don't usually wear them for like 8+ hours, you know what I mean? So I guess take my recommendation for liquid lipstick formulas with a grain of salt. So the next thing I have for you guys are the new Tart Glossy lip paints. Again, quite a bit of nudes happening there, and then it goes into like these kind of like dark plums and like mauves and stuff like that. They're really, really pretty. They apply really nicely and they feel very comfortable on the lips. Like they're very like creamy and kind of soft feeling. They almost remind me of the MAC Cream Sheen formula because they're not like sticky and tacky. But that said, I almost feel like, this is weird, but I almost feel like they're too pigmented. Like I feel like glosses that are really, really pigmented are just like a world of trouble because like when I go to like rub my lips together, it kind of creates lines in them and stuff like that. Like personally, I like my glosses to just be like a sheer kind of cover or even have like a tint to it so that it's actually going to like color my lips underneath as opposed to just having pigment kind of sitting on top of the lips. Especially with colors like these, I mean they're so stunning, but like that I feel like would just be such a nightmare to wear out. Like I don't think I ever would. They look gorgeous in photos, like just so stunning in photos. But personally, I just don't think that I would wear that out of the house. You know what I mean? Like it's a beautiful color. I would love to, but I feel like that would just wear off so quickly and it would be so messy. I don't know. You tell me. And I do feel like that's kind of the downside. It seems like glosses that are more comfortable to wear aren't going to have very long wearing time, whereas glosses that are really, really sticky and like tacky and almost glue-like on your lips, they're gonna last longer. They might bleed a little bit less, but it's kind of like the trade-off of like comfort for wearability, basically. So the next thing I have for you guys is the new Urban Decay highlighters and bronzers. I love the packaging for both, first and foremost. I think they're so, so cute. But let's get into how they perform. So those are the highlighters on the top there, if you can see them. I have Sin, Aura, and Fireball. Sin is stunning. It's so pretty. It's very, very intense. So if you like that kind of intense, like shine back and blind you in the eyes highlight, Sin is for you, girl. And it's actually going to be pretty universally flattering because it does have those kind of golden undertones, so it's not going to look ashy on deeper skin tones, which is great, but it is light enough that it's still going to look and show up pretty well on fair to medium skin as well. For deeper skin, you might just want to apply a little bit less if you don't want it to be like too intense, but I say make it intense. This is Aura, which has kind of like a lilac-y, pinky shift. When I got this, man, I was like, this is going to be my new highlight for life. I loved it. I was like, it's not like too intense of a color, but like it's just really, really cool looking. And it has just kind of like this, I don't know, it's just so pretty. And I was just like, man, that's the spot for me for the rest of my life as far as highlight goes. But no, it's not. I don't know why. The formula for Sin feels so like creamy and amazing, and it just like melts into your skin. It's so stunning. And this one feels a little bit kind of chalkier, which could be fine, but it's weird. It's almost like you have the highlight color on, and then around it, it almost seems to oxidize and turn like this weird pinky color, so it looks like it's like outlined with pink. It's so weird. Try it on yourself and see if you've experienced the same kind of thing. It even almost looks like it's doing it on my arm a little bit. I don't know how it's going to translate to camera, probably not very well. So I don't know about that one. I want to love it. I'm going to keep trying it with different foundations and see if I like it more. And then the next one's Fireball. This one is pretty and it's cool looking. It's kind of like a pink iridescent shimmery highlight, but I just don't know who that would look dope on. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it could look really, really cool on like deeper skin tones, but then I'm like, it's so pink. Would you want that as a highlight? I don't know. I need to see pictures of people wearing it, so I'm iffy about that one. And then I have their bronzers. So this one's called Bronzed and then Sunkissed. I actually really like Bronzed. I think it's a really, really nice color, and when it's blended out, it's really quite pretty and natural looking on the skin. Sunkissed is like just a little too kind of like terracotta, like red colored. It's just a little bit too much. I don't know. I don't know about that one. So overall, I think Sin, definitely worth picking up. Bronzed, definitely worth picking up. I literally just got this at my front door while I was filming, so I was like, I gotta include it, man, it's a sign. This is the NYX Strobe of Genius Illuminating Palette. I just swatched it on Periscope a little bit, and like this color right here, this color, so pretty. The texture when I swatch with my fingers is almost like maybe just the littlest bit dry, but when you put it on, it's just so soft and creamy, and I'm just like, oh my god, and like that flashback, it's just beautiful. I really like this color over here as well. It's just like the perfect gold. Oh my god, it's so pretty. It's like, it almost looks like Champagne Pop, that bottom one. It's so nice. When I first got this palette, I was like, what the frick is this lilac color gonna be about? But it's actually kind of nice on, and it actually doesn't look lilac-y at all. It just looks kind of like a nice icy shimmer, and it's going to be really pretty on cool toned fair skin people for sure. Super pretty. This gold I'm not too sure about. It's a little bit too yellowy. Even on deep skin tones, I find it more flattering for it to be more of like a warm champagne color than like gold right on your face. I just think it's like a little bit too much for a highlight, but to each their own. Overall, I really like this palette, and I want to make mention of the fact that I think it's really cool that NYX is kind of catering more and more towards like professionals and stuff like that, because I think that that's like very rare for an affordable brand, and it's just neat to see. It's neat to see like a variety of skin tones in kind of like one palette. Just using every last corner of my makeup wipe, you know. So the next thing I have for you guys are the new Kat Von D Eyeshadow Quads. So she came out with 4 palettes, like ranging from different color families. I did a video and a Periscope talking about these and using them, but I realized in the video I didn't really talk about my thoughts too much, so we're going to talk about them again. The first palette that I have right here is the Rust one, and honestly, the texture and quality of these shadows are phenomenal across the board. They're so soft and buttery, it's like almost unbelievable. When like you touch them and then you go and touch other eyeshadow, you're like, oh my god, this is crazy. They're so soft and buttery. They're gorgeous. They blend into the skin really, really nicely. The only thing I will say is that it's sometimes hard to build up the color the way you want, especially with the Sage one, which is what I used in my video the other day. I found it really hard to build up these two colors, which is unfortunate because they're so stunning. stunning. So that's the Sage one, Rust. Both really, really pretty. I like the idea of these quads. I definitely feel like everybody tends to lean towards a specific color family. Like for myself, you know, maybe I might like warm browns. I don't know if it's obvious. Everyone tends to have something that's like their go-to. It's like their safe spot, whether that's like smoky eyes or plums or like whatever, right? So I think these are really, really good for like catering to those types of people. This one is Plum. This shade right here is like so soft and so pigmented and so buttery. Almost too much. It's weird. It's so bizarre, but it's really pretty color still. And then the Smoke palette. And I really like that this has kind of like this almost like, it's just slightly like shifting towards being warm almost. And I really like that they have this mix with the otherwise like cool colors here. I just think it creates like a really cool transition shade for these two cool tones. The next thing I have is the spring collection from ColourPop. ColourPop comes out with things so rapidly, I almost find it difficult to keep up with them. So the first thing I have is 4 new eyeshadows. I can't swatch my arm in a way that doesn't require me to rotate it. This one is called Waddles, and I wish it was called Waffles. And then we kind of have like a mustardy color, this sort of like royal blue, and then a nice green color. If you guys have never tried the ColourPop eyeshadows, they're very, very different from anything that you probably are using currently or have used. They're pressed with silicone, so they're very, very creamy and almost like wet feeling when you first apply them, and they're kind of difficult to apply nicely. I really like the ColourPop shadows that are super shimmery and reflective because I feel like they're really pretty just like pat on top quickly. However, I kind of like tend to shy away from the matte shades because I just find them too difficult to apply for something that ends up just looking like regular eyeshadow, if that makes sense. If it was something where like I applied it but then it made my eyelids look like this crazy fucking like, I don't know, like it did some kind of effect that was like more worthwhile than just using a pressed shadow, then I would probably use it. But to go through the effort of applying the matte shadows is like too much for me. You almost have to apply them with your finger and then blend them out. So yeah, I just find that the matte shadows for me aren't necessarily worth the effort of putting in, whereas the kind of like shimmery and shiny eyeshadows I'm more likely to use because that kind of creamy consistency of the shadow gives really, really nice like reflective payoff. So the next thing I have from the spring collection of ColourPop is the 3 top ones, which are the new liquid lipsticks, and the 3 bottom ones, which are just the new hair stuck to my arm. Just the new lippy sticks. I really like all the colors. I think they're all very like bright and springy, obviously, which is super nice, and they're all really pretty, especially that coral is speaking to me on another level. I also like, so these ones are of the satin collection, which means that they're not going to dry down quite as matte. They're not going to be quite as transfer proof as the matte liquid lipsticks. I prefer them because I find that they're like a little bit more of kind of like a moussey texture as opposed to the original matte formula, which is super liquidy. I think you guys know that I was never a super fan of that formula. I feel like the first time I was trying to apply it, it literally spilled out all over me. It was crazy. And so ever since then I was like, grr. But I do like that these are a little bit more of a kind of like a moussey, thicker texture. And then for the lipsticks, the bottom 2, I did find that I had to work to build up the color quite a bit, which is unfortunate, but they're very, very pretty afterwards. I do like both of the colors. I like that they're kind of like this cotton candy pink color for spring. But yeah, I just found that the formula for those 2 kind of was lacking a little bit. They are a little bit sheer. So if you like sheer lipsticks, go hard. If you want something with a little bit more of like an intense color payoff, I would probably opt for maybe one of like the more matte formulas that are going to be probably a more intense color payoff. Alright, and then the last thing that I have for you guys from the ColourPop Spring Collection are the 2 gel pencil liners. So I have the green one there and then the one called Honeydew underneath, which is like kind of like a nude pencil for the waterline. They're both really nice, and I actually like the formula of the gel pencils a lot. I find them really creamy, so they're really comfortable to wear on my waterline, but they're also pretty long wearing, which is great. And then I have the 2 cream gel color pots in the green and the purple. I actually like the formula of these as well. I think the colors are really pretty. The only thing is it seems like from color to color, the payoff seems to kind of vary just a little bit. I haven't tried these ones on my eyes yet. so I'll let you know. But I have tried their other colors and I always really like them. So there you have it. So that is everything for today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something cool today. If you have any questions about any of the products that I featured, or you guys want to see any other products in an upcoming video, let me know and I will get back to you in the comments. Alright guys, peace out.